Hello, this is Ariana Antonio for Java 1 1406, and this is my linear layout project review. I will go ahead and run the app for you really quick so that you can see what it does. It's very simple. It pretty much just takes some numerical inputs and gives you back the average for them and then tells you whether or not they are even or odd. So there's some instruction text, and then that changes to the text of what the person entered. And go ahead and enter a couple more values just to show that it's working. And so then once you're done entering all the values you want the average of, you go ahead and click done, and then this changes to tell you the average and whether or not that number is odd, which as you can see it is. And then when you're done, you can go ahead and click reset and the whole system resets. Alright, so here's my code. All very simple. First we're initializing the variables for one R array, and then the rest are pretty much the buttons and text views. And then our first on-click listener is for the button when you're entering an input, the click me button. And we go ahead and get the text that was inputted, convert it to a string, and add it to the array. And the array had to be declared as an array list rather than a primitive array. A primitive array wouldn't let me do things like add to it later and that sort of thing, so it's a different type of array. And then it's resetting the text above so that we can go ahead and loop through the array and then tell that person up in the text view each value that was entered. And yeah, and adding it on there, and then also resetting the input text. So then the second event on click is when you click the done button, and that goes ahead and calls the all done function, sorry. So down here we have the all done function that takes a parameter of the input array. It sets up these local variables, loops through the array, and adds each value in the array together. Then it gets the total, and it gets the average by dividing it by the size of the array. And then this is setting the average text view values, and then this is the if else check to see if that value is odd, even, or this is checking if it's even, this is checking if it's odd, and this is just basically if there's some sort of error, if it's somehow neither. And then setting that odd text view. And then the very last click event is to reset everything. So it just resets the text views and fields back to their original value, and it clears out the array. So again, all very simple. In terms of things I would have liked to have done better, mostly just playing around with this a bit more. You know, I did a little bit, but there's a lot more I know that I still need to learn about the linear layout and jazzing things up a bit, as well as, you know, an application that was a little more useful would have been nice too. In terms of how Java compares to Objective-C, you know, it's hard to say just because I still know Objective-C a lot better. Java still seems pretty okay in terms of most of the stuff I've learned is done very similar to either Objective-C or JavaScript. But there is plenty of stuff that's very different, so I still have to do plenty of Googling, and you know, the project takes a lot longer than it would have in Objective-C or JavaScript. And I do keep trying to initialize values with an asterisk, so I have to kind of breed that out of me. But and then in terms of things that still need more clarification, part of it I do need to learn more about the array list. You know, I had to use that instead of a primitive array, and I don't 100% understand why, or you know, what's beneficial about this over primitive. You know, it seems like this has a lot more options to it, probably because it's an object. So there's a lot more methods available than a primitive array. And just other little things that, you know, are different, you know, using the final, you know, these are all things that, you know, I just need to work on and get a little bit more clarification on. But that's it. Thanks so much. Bye.